Welcome to this installment of Science Minutes by Jake and Jacob. Today we will talk about shared versus separate multilingual representations. So how do we store multiple language systems in the mind? For people who speak more than one language, how are their languages represented in the brain in relation to one another? One possibility is that each specific language is housed in a separate region of the brain. For example, in a Spanish-French bilingual, Spanish would be housed in one region, while French is in another. If this is true, we would expect that Spanish and French could be selectively impaired. Spanish could be affected by an impairment and leave French unimpaired, or vice versa. Do we have any evidence for this theory? In fact, we do. Support for separate multilingual representations have come from language-specific aphasias, in which a bilingual loses the ability to use one language while maintaining use of the other. In a study performed by Silverberg and Gordon, the researchers took a look at two patients who had suffered a stroke on the left side of their brains. The first patient was a native Spanish speaker who had become fluent in Hebrew later in life. Interestingly, after her stroke, she maintained fluency in Hebrew, but suffered from Broca's aphasia, a non-fluency impairment in her native Spanish. The other patient, a native Russian speaker who also knew Hebrew but poorly, lost all of his Hebrew after his stroke, but maintained fluency in Russian. This provided great support for the theory that languages could be selectively impaired, and therefore provided support that different languages are stored in different regions of the brain. The other theory in multilingual representations claims that languages are all housed in a common region of the brain, using common cognitive and neural substrates, and requiring cognitive control to select any given language. Support for this theory comes from fMRI data from a different study performed by Wartenberger. This study took a look at several German-Italian bilinguals. The research participants acquired their languages at various ages. There were also participants of both high and low proficiency in German and Italian. During the study, the participants listened to sentences in each language and then were asked to make judgments in that language. While the participants were completing these tasks, an fMRI scan was administered. The fMRI data showed a very curious finding. While the late-age acquisition participants showed differences in the region of brain activity for each language, the early acquisition participants showed no differences in region of brain activity when using German versus Italian. This would suggest that the same brain regions are being used for multiple languages. After looking at these results and considering the theories, can we come to any concrete conclusions? Not really. We still need to find a way to reconcile the findings to answer how languages are represented in the brain. Many attempts have been made to reconcile these findings, but that is a topic for another video. For now, we hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.